All right. Well, there are two ugly truths about this new HIV vaccine that the FDA approved this week that the media will not tell you. So look at this headline, the way that this is coming across. Full approval, powerful drug. Listen to this NBC News anchor breathlessly excited about this new HIV vaccine. But what they don't say is even more revealing than what they do. Watch.
We are following some breaking news out of the FDA.
The agency has just approved a new, highly effective HIV prevention medication. In clinical trials, the drug nearly eliminated the spread among people given an injection every 6 months. Joining us now with more, NBC News medical fellow Dr. Akshay Syal. So, Dr. Syal, first, tell us about this drug and why so many are excited about it.
Okay, so exciting. The doctor they go on to interview says passionately that this is better because the current HIV prevention is a daily pill. So people don't take that. They don't want to. They don't want to refill their prescription. Now we can just give them 2 shots a year. That's why it's better. What are the two populations, though, that take this, you wonder? Like, why would anyone want an HIV prevention shot? Here's what they don't say, is that the two populations that should take it are gay, bisexual, and transgender people, or cisgender women in sub-Saharan Africa. That's weird, right? Like, why these two populations? Well, the sad truth is, for one of them, because of promiscuous lifestyle, and for the other is because they get sexually assaulted all the time in sub-Saharan Africa. So it's like, we can't really stop you from getting graped without a G, but we can give you a vaccine that means you might not get AIDS when it happens. Is that better? Is that progress? So again, let's begin with these two vulnerable populations for HIV, the African women. So what they say, I object to the term cisgender, but okay. They tested it on cisgender women in South Africa and Uganda because of their high HIV exposure, often linked to conditions like gender inequality, economic dependency, and endemic sexual violence, which means they may have to take a job where they are sexually abused all the time. We saw this in the WHO documents, that's how it goes. You take a job at a clinic, your boss is going to be sleeping with you, and whether you like it or not, and that's the way it goes. The study did not really account for who was sexually assaulted and who wasn't. They only looked at who contracted AIDS and who didn't. Also, it was not tested with a placebo. It was tested against the women who took a daily pill that is currently on the market. That tells us nothing about who's protected against sexual violence and who is not. That's not really liberation. That's just market testing. All this says is you're better off getting a shot twice a year than taking a daily pill, because you're going to get graped, girl, and you may get AIDS. So this is how we protect you. Is that, I think about that as a woman, like, do I need to take this? Because I just, it's so likely that I'm going to get assaulted and then I might get AIDS from it. I guess I'll just take a shot twice a year. Can you imagine? Do you think, I ask you, if the NBC anchors who read this excited news knew that, would they be quite so excited? Okay, now brace yourself, because we're going to move on to gay and bi and trans people in the U.S. and their risk of AIDS. Again, this drug was not tested on a placebo. It was tested only against people who took this daily pill. Now, the media ignores the fact that people on preventative HIV medicine, it's called PrEP, often think of this as a license for promiscuity, and data shows that then they exhibit riskier behavior and they are more likely to contract STDs. Not AIDS, but other fun things, like here are some studies that prove that. This one showed that men who were on PrEP meds had a 35% increase in cases of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. It's not AIDS. It's a whole different kind of party. Here's another, found that gay men on these types of meds were 11 to 45 times more likely to be diagnosed with a bacterial STD than men who were not. There are dozens of studies like this. Do you think that men who are put on this preventative AIDS medicine are informed of this? Like, hey, this may give you a license to go have a party, and then you're going to get other things. So beware of that. Probably not. In fact, because the media loves to advocate for gay sex so often, gay men are never told the truth, which is that anal sex is incredibly risky. Here is what is never acknowledged. Anal sex is 20 times riskier than vaginal sex for HIV contraction. Condoms are highly likely to fail, making this even riskier. And in fact, in December of 1990, the FDA published this warning saying that condoms are more likely to break during this type of intercourse than any other. And even if it doesn't, it's risky because the tissue in the rectum can bleed and tear. Clayton's getting so uncomfortable. I warned you. It says these tears allow disease germs to pass more easily from one partner to another. This, and in fact, in the 80s, the Surgeon General even said that this type of sex was too dangerous to practice. Now, why, I ask you, does the government not issue these warnings anymore? It's because they now put the onus on condom companies. They figure that condoms, preventative drugs, and regular HIV testing is enough, so they don't teach you to manage the risk at all. But even with the condom part, think of the second part about tears in the tissue in the rectum. Humans haven't somehow evolved and our buttholes are stronger. That's not true. Sorry, Clay, look at his face. You need to stop doing this because I'm trying to deliver serious news. This is serious. These are the things.
I'm serious. I'm just, yeah. It's just, yeah.
You need to man up and listen to this because these are the things that the government is actively not saying. So when your kid goes into sexual education, they're told this type of gay sex is totally fine and totally safe, and it is not. And they know that. And so by putting forward these preventative AIDS drugs, they know that these kids are going to get other things, not just kids, but also adults, and they don't say so. So this is not really allyship. You know, you're trying to be so inclusive that you don't say what the true risk of gay sex is. Is that allyship? I would say that's more homophobic to not tell them the truth. Again, I wonder, do you think these NBC anchors who did this segment understood that? Do you think they cared? So yeah, you can take a twice yearly shot if you want, while you either keep getting graped without a G, or you have a fun and busy sex life and then you get other STDs. So fun. But I ask you, who benefits from this? Definitely not the women who are at risk of sexual assault in Africa. Don't pretend this is awesome for them. Definitely not the gay men contracting more STDs that no one warns them about. Not the public who's told the half-truth in the name of inclusion. But Big Pharma does. They don't need to stop any sexual violence. They don't need to encourage caution. They just want you to keep getting this twice yearly shot for the rest of your life. So yeah, I said what I said. Clayton didn't like it, but you needed to hear it.
Well, I don't like it. I don't have to like it. I also don't like when we cover war. But no, this isn't about saving lives at all. They don't care about that. It's about selling more drugs. That's all it is.
Yes.
And by the way, the same like liberals who go on television, MSNBC and so forth, and push for this type of behavior and sort of celebrating these AIDS drugs are the same morons that push for, you know, don't ever tell the truth about birth control pills and the likelihood of stroke as a result of taking birth control pills.
Yeah.
You know, these are the same people, I think, unless I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, there are many uncomfortable truths that if you are a gay person, you need to know. It is not homophobic to say so. It is, in fact, ignorant to not. And so you have to ask yourself, why don't we discuss that? Why do we act like it's Pride Month right now? We act like gay sex is the best thing you could possibly do, and every gay person is the most amazing, brave person in the world. Well, that's actually dangerous rhetoric, don't you think?
I mean, it's weird in Russia. I mean, maybe this is a bridge too far, but I mean, like in Russia, they banned extremists. They literally lumped in teaching things to minors or pushing this agenda on minors as extremist. So it's banned in Russia to even be able to promote content, information, pushing this kind of, information to minors. Maybe that's something we should do in the United States.
Yeah. I mean, this merits a real conversation about safety for gay people. We are not allowed to have it. Okay. So I just had it. I'm not telling you what not to do, but I'm telling you what to think about if you're going to do. That's what I'm saying. And that they lie to you in the name of
that all rhymed,
inclusion and big pharma benefits. I think I've made my case. I'm going to leave it right there.